Meanwhile, talking about Mumbai, let's cut across to somebody who's as Mumbai can get. Joining me next is Cyrus Broacha. He's been the funny man. He's been the newsman. He's been doing a lot of, podcasting of late. But I want to start by asking you, Cyrus, what an election. From lungi, poongi to rasmalai, God knows what we are discussing when the real issues on the ground are just not featuring in any of the, political slogans or even campaigning. What are you feeling at the moment as a Mumbaikar?
Yeah, but largely in Malabar Hill, we try to avoid the campaign because we are the rich and the elite and, we're not really suffering. So we try and just put the AC as loud as possible, put your Netflix on and make sure you don't hear what's going on downstairs and live in peace. No, but you're right. I like your opening remarks, which were about certain slurs, or slurs that appear to be slurs for certain communities, etc. So, a lot of that name calling has hijacked the campaign a little bit, as far as I'm concerned. Also, more interesting is we're not sure which party alliance is being true to itself. In the party alliances, there have been new alliances where they've gone back to old alliances in spite of still being in the new alliance. So there's a lot of confusion going around here, and that's very like a soap opera. So exactly what you said about the issues and all, that's gone to the backseat. No one's really looking at that. It's more like everybody's watching. Can you believe it? X is with Y, even though they were first with X, they're back with Y. It's all that. So yeah, very interesting for all of us to see. And of course, the greatest thing of being part of a democracy in India is that every time this happens, we're the only country in the world, a democratic country in the world, where for whatever reason there's a dry day.
But you speak about soap opera. Tell me, if BMC elections are a movie, which movie do you think it would be?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I would go with 12 Angry Men if I was looking at Hollywood. And if I was looking at Bollywood, I mean, there's so many interesting movies. I think what was it, Shri 420 back in the day, old one. So many of these slightly jugaad films, which I think this whole thing is about strategy and cunning. If you look at it without any jaundiced eye, if you're not, supposing you're in Jalandhar watching it, so you're not involved in it, it's actually going to be great fun because there's just so many combinations and permutations, like a cricket match when the rain has come down and you're trying to figure out who's going to win the match in the end. Because they keep sort of changing alliances and sort of bringing people into the fold or presenting a certain face which is not, which it isn't, or trying to show something which is not there. So of course, I'm trying not to be specific because you don't want any trouble from anybody, depending on who wins. So have to be very careful. My pet peeve, Sonal, is very different. My pet peeve, call it elitist, is the motorbike culture. And I only want that to stop. The ones that break the one ways, this includes those poor two-wheeler guys trying to earn money with deliveries. They're just driving me nuts because I believe that no challan ever reaches a motorbike. They just break the red light while you're sitting there like an idiot. Break the one way, you drive on the pavement, do anything they want to. So, in my humble request is, after all the other things I looked at, from AQI to roads to metro to every little issue which is more generic for the entire public, also look at motorbikes.
You're right, and maybe there is now a ruling which will sort of ease out the delivery guys issue as well. But I caught on to what you said, Cyrus, earlier about being careful about what you say. I thought Mumbai was all about being loud and also being absolutely unafraid of anybody. You're saying now Mumbaikars also have to be careful about what they say?
But I'll give you an example. There was a young gentleman, a non-violent man, who's never hurt a fly physically, although verbally he may have might have slightly assaulted people. I won't say his full name. His first name starts with rhymes with Tunal, and his surname rhymes with Pamra. And this is a city where he was sort of, attacked and pushed out of, in a sense. Although the attack happened when he was not there, but that's purely logistics, which will explain later in life. Yes, one has to be a little careful with the climate we live in. So we are being as careful as possible. So far, so good.
But Cyrus, that's sad, no? That's like terribly sad. You're talking about defamations, you're talking about being attacked, all of this in the city.
No. I think there is a sort of sense of freedom of expression, but you have to go through the wedges, and it's like a puzzle. You got to just go through all that. You weave your way. So you have to be as creative as possible. Yeah. So, but the fact of the matter is, there's always a chance that someone is going to file defamation or attack you, or some goons are going to come after you, or even let's say institutions will come after you, even though they have much more important things to do. So that's always there. So you're, in a sense, it's like a game, but I'm not complaining.
All right, Cyrus Broacha, now that you've explained it in that manner, the movie that comes to my mind, if I had to describe this election in a movie, I would probably say like Hosla Ka Ghosla or Hangover or something like that, no?
Yeah, but that's not fair because you had time to think about your question. You made up the question. You have time to think about your question. You put me on the spot there. There's so many millions of movies. That's to hit you immediately. Yeah.
Okay, so let me say this. So I have been a Mumbaiya for a short while. I loved the place. In fact, I loved the people, to be more specific. I hated the city. It stinks. There's traffic everywhere. It's just too expensive to do anything. It just takes forever to reach somewhere. The roads are narrow. There's honking. I mean, it's just too chaotic. I'm trying to understand how our Mumbaikars dealing with this year after year, nobody really questioning and saying, okay, here's a solution, make it happen.
So this is the world we live in again. That everything is not going to be solved overnight. I think voters should also aim low. It's exactly like the best thing I've ever read in a male urinal is aim low. It's the safest thing to do. So I think our expectations are far too great. We have to bring them down a little bit. You really expect the pothole problem to be solved in our lifetime in a complete manner? I mean, that's not going to happen. They
Yeah.
do something here, do something there. It's not like all of them are not trying. There's a lot of people who are trying, but unfortunately, we don't seem to get the success that the people expect, which is a little bit ridiculous. We've made some progress, and I'm batting for the BMC here for a minute because I have some friends. We've made some progress with the metro. Definitely, we made a lot of progress with the coastal road, at least from my part of the world, going to the suburbs and coming back. So there are a few victories. Look at us as the maybe the Sri Lankan cricket team in the 90s. We're slowly getting there. Well, they're minnows, but we're slowly getting better and better. I'm hopeful. I'm very positive, including freedom of expression. I think we look over our shoulder at other countries, and there's plenty of right-leaning, aggressive sort of governments across the world. So I don't think we're in the worst position. So we need to just look at where we are, lower the expectations, not bother too much. People will always pee on the road. People will always spit out of their cars. There will always be debris. AQI will
No.
we'll equal Delhi. We'll defeat Delhi. Don't worry, Delhi. We're coming for you. We will defeat Delhi. So at the end of the day, why are we bothered about all these things? This is the way it's going to be. Just aim low and hope for a few victories. It's a bit like marriage also, if you ask me. People think when they get married, it's going to be the greatest thing ever. By the 25th year, you're like, अगर ये हफ्ते में कुछ झगड़ा नहीं हुआ तो काफी है. And I think that's my aim.
That bit on Delhi, I actually agree with that because you're almost there. We are about 600 this time of the year. You are about 400, right? So we're almost getting there. Give it a couple of more seasons, it will probably get there, right? But, on the positive note that you mentioned, let me put it on you. 75,000 crore, that's the budget for BMC, right? You being like this elitist, as you described yourself, somebody who can afford to sort of put on their volumes, put on the AC, cut the noise out. If you were in the chair, if you had to spend that 75,000 crore, what are the top 3 things you would spend it on?
But number one would be firstly, I want challenge for the two-wheelers. They're getting away with murder. But the number one thing would be see, even though we improve some roads, it's almost like it's a domino effect where one road gets better and two get worse. Okay, and it may not be in the same area. But the problem is, as a Mumbaiker, you've been a Mumbaikar, you understand you're not staying in one area. So supposing we do good work in Nepean Road somewhere in South Mumbai, somewhere in Mulund there'll be two roads who are suffering. It just seems to have that negative effect also. So every time we do a little, we also lose a little. Now, accountability with that, what, third or fourth largest budget in the entire Asian continent is ours. I mean, which has fabulous figures. The accountability is a whole another ball game altogether. And I hope Aaj Tak in India today can use their admin and their people who do finance to look at that properly to see whether money should be allocated in the right way. And more importantly, it has been spent in the right way or not, which clearly you know the answer.
No, I don't think this is the bhar that Aaj Tak in India today, admin and finance can take it up. I think this is what elected governments are for, and this is what it should stay at as well. But as we wrap up, give me your own, Cyrus, one word for Mumbai politicians.
So I would like to say politicians of Maharashtra especially, the word flexible is the I think is the most important word, because they're extremely flexible terms of political thought, manifestos, ideas, alliances, promises, and that flexibility has allowed them to have long careers. So maybe we should learn from them, just to be very flexible. What you're saying on Monday is not what happens on Tuesday. And what you're saying on Tuesday is forgotten by Wednesday. It's like that. You got to hand it to them. It's like a proper sport. It's not like not everyone can do politics. It takes skill. Now, having said that, I'm not saying that you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing, but to play as a politician, you need to have the Virat Kohli kind of cricketing, genes. You have to have that in politics.
Cyrus, can I say I'm laughing and crying internally at the same time? It is just so sad that this is what our country has come to, and city after city, and especially metro after metro, I see the same issue everywhere, same disconnect that politicians have with, with residents. It's just terribly sad. But let's end on a nicer note. And now I'm giving you time to think, so don't complain. Take your time and tell me a song that comes to mind when I say BMC.
Yeah, I got a lovely Hindi song. Kuch
Yeah.
na kaho, kuch bhi na kaho. I think it's the best way to answer is not answer. Again, that's a lesson in politics. You answer by not answering. You don't really say anything. That's the best thing. But like I said, there have been some small improvements. Listen, I meet these guys all the time. Some of them recognize me and say nice things. Well, I don't want to fight with them. Some of them really try hard, but the system needs a revamp, and they'll admit it themselves. When you look at these huge budgets and whether they go in the right directions, these are big, big questions which beyond my pay grade and capacity. But have we solved the pothole problem? I don't know. Congestion? I don't know. Traffic issues? I don't know.
Yeah.
Bridges? There are two or three that have never been erected again. I don't know. So I mean, there's lots of room for improvement. But I live in the city, Sonal. So let me just say, Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra, all good.
Right, Jai Maharashtra, Jai Hind, and already like Real's hoping to citizens as well. Here's hoping that everybody and all of us who criticize the government, all of us who question the government actually take out the time, go out and vote tomorrow as well, because that's the test for us as citizens as well. So here's hoping that your and my voice actually reaches those people and they're able to do that as well. Cyrus, for the moment, thank you so much for joining us and good luck. See you on the voting rolls tomorrow.